Welcome, YouTube. YouTubers, artists, arters. I think art appreciators is the other one that I use. So I decided this week, this is my first ever official Thursday live stream. And I wanted to use these live streams to do maybe some sculpting on camera, things like that. And I have my camera set up nearby, and I was thinking about using it, but I've been sculpting a lot for the next video, and I decided that I wanted to try something else. And I was just drawing like gnomes earlier, and I was thinking about like little garden gnomes, and I was like, what if I just drew some little gnomes? So then I decided to start doing this video. Or live stream. Yeah, so kind of a spur of the moment decision, but I was drawing gnomes earlier today. I was thinking about if there was a gnome themed video game, what it would be about. My sister and brother used to really like the movie Romeo and Juliet when they were really young. So I don't know. I feel like garden gnomes are very cute. And I was thinking what if I tried to draw little houses that matched what the gnomes look like, and use pictures that I have, because I have a lot of pictures from the botanic gardens. They're garden gnomes, of course, so I have a lot of pictures from the Chicago Botanic Gardens and from places like that. And I just thought it would be fun to try and design characters around them. So they're going to be the classic big-nosed gnomes. I might change the thumbnail at some point to something I actually draw, because I whipped that up really fast. So for this one, the reason I like this picture so much is I believe this is a wall at the Chicago Botanic Garden that I love taking pictures of little plants like that. And I was thinking, this feels like it's the perfect place for there to just be a tiny little house. Don't you just feel like there should be a little doorway right here for just a little guy? Someone should be right there. And yeah, people stop by the live stream. If anybody has any suggestions for the gnomes, what kind of aesthetic they should have and things like that as well. Hobbit style door, or I could do well, it feels like there should be a door, maybe. There needs to be a door and a little window. So maybe the little window's over here. And then he's got a door that's kind of all over here, but it's cut off. I'm going to flatten that ground out a little. He's got his little window. His little door handle. And I want to work to make them themed. He can have hair that's similar to this little plant, a similar color of green. I want everything to be sort of themed around the little plant that's in the picture. Because these are such a nice little succulents. I feel like they deserve more. Maybe there can be a little hanging plant. I could even I have more pictures of these succulents, so if I wanted to do any Photoshop stuff where I moved things around to add little succulents, although I don't necessarily think that's necessary to add too much more greenery to the photo. I mostly just want to add little house objects and things like that to the photo. Maybe he should have just a nice mug of coffee. She's just a little guy with a little mug of coffee, you guys know. We'll give him a ridge since these are sort of a multi-layered plant. He's got that little jug head bump around his hat. I like the ones with the really big noses where you like can't see their eyes, but I think I'm gonna do eyes on some of them at least. And then gotta do the classic beard and mustache. Oh, and I feel like if he has a really like bushy beard, he can more so reflect the little plants. The little whatever these are, succulents maybe? I said succulents before. I'm not sure what else they might be. Oh, I forgot to share my live streaming. Let me just share my link to Twitter. Okay, so he's gonna have his little cup of coffee. I'll have to think of other props to put around him. I think this is also why I wanted to do this, is I'm not like super great at what do you call it? Like settings. So I thought maybe if I had like a little setting with just like where I could put a little character in and then give him some like props, that would be good. I just want his feet to be like little beans. I do feel like this door should be more curved. Maybe not completely round, but it can be like stylistically curved a little. Oh, he needs like maybe like a little welcome mat. He just needs more like props. Maybe a little bench here. You give him gardening tools like a little shovel or something. Yeah, I'm really gonna have to transplant him into the thumbnail just so it looks a little bit better there. But that's alright, we'll think about that in a couple of minutes. I'm gonna start on the little guy by probably just blocking out his color first. I really like using textured pens in Clip Studio Paint, so it just has a little bit of roughness, and I think that'll help make him look I mean, not more realistic. I'm not going for a realistic little gnome, but it'll add some interesting, you know, some interest to his gnominess. I wonder how people feel about if all gnomes have beards. Like, are gnomes like dwarves and the females also have beards? Because I like drawing all the female dwarves in, like, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and everything, like, with beards. And I feel like gnomes are one of those things where you mostly just see them as little guys with beards. So, like, maybe the female gnomes also have beards. You can see, like, female gnomes without beards, but I always feel like it's always just, like, here's, like, a gnome who's, like, a little guy, and then there's just a gnome with a skirt on that doesn't have a beard, and I'm like, that just looks like a little person. I feel like she needs to look sillier. Just thoughts that I have when I look at gnomes, you know? I usually, so this base color, I'll probably figure out what skin color to give the little gnome. Oops. A lock transparent pixel. Do some stuff where there's just a touch of, I also like the textured crayon pencil. And maybe a little bit of it on the hands also. So right now it just looks like this, which might not look like much, but we're gonna get there eventually. Okay, and then let's go ahead and fill in some other stuff. So like the beard, which will be mostly white in classic gnome fashion. And I'm just doing everything so it like locks on top of the other layer, the original gnome that's like entirely covered in. I'm just gonna color on top of that. It's a pretty easy way to make like a lineless style. I usually end up with like a lot of layers because I'll do like one layer per color or something like that. I try to break away from that habit, but it's just for me, I always feel safer if I have like a lot of like layers, just in case I ever need to go back and like change a color, because like, you know, sometimes just like you'll realize that a color doesn't work, it doesn't fit the color scheme or something like that later on in a piece. Whoops. I need to refer only to editing. Oops. I forgot that that's not filled in on the other side. There we go. And then I can just go back to full opacity and check it every once in a while. And then you can even check the lock transparency and then add a little bit of, you know, this hair that's in the back. I can make that a little bit darker. Can add, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add this. So this is around where his like little mustache is. And this is down underneath his hands to give a little bit of like shadow. And then I'll just go over those little bumps that were his mustache. Oh, I think he's pretty adorable already. as a little gnome person. Okay, I'm gonna go with just little tiny eyes. Teeny tiny little eyes. Or you know what? I'm gonna do the hat on that same layer just so I don't end up with too many layers. And we'll give him his hat on in the like doodle I did for the thumbnail. I made his hat blue, and this I'm gonna make it green. Do, 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 do. And then I'll just make his coat. So things that like colors that aren't directly touching each other, I'll put on the same layer. And then colors that are sort of overlapping, I usually put on different layers if possible. And I try to organize them, you know, one layer on top of each other. Like right now I'm gonna do this green coat underneath the beard and everything. But I'm actually probably gonna do a different layer just for the arms so I can shade them on their own. So they don't get like obscured. Or not like obscured. Just so the shading on like the various layers doesn't interfere as easily. There, so this is also underneath the beard, but it's on top of the shirt layer. That's where we're at so far. And then we just need the shoes and the cup, which I think can go on its own on the same layer, because I think they won't interfere with each other. I'll go with like a little... I don't want to make everything green because there are already green plants in the picture, but I can change all these colors after the fact. Do, 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 do. I'll probably do some other like minor adjustments once I open it up. Okay. So here's how he looks so far. He's got all this color filled in. Now we can work on more details and things like that. I will say one thing is I don't like how this shoe is looking, so I'm gonna adjust the shoe a little bit. Add a touch of green there. Yeah, I think that fills it in a little better. Gonna go down here. Just always gotta add a lot of little tiny shiny bits because why not, you know? Okay. So these green parts are definitely going to have to be darker. Gonna use crayon. Like I said, I like a bit of texture for his little coat. And then this part of the coat also needs a bit of texture, but a little bit less. And I'll even get it a bit of highlight. I'll give this part of the coat a little highlight too. Okay, and here's his hat. Obviously, hat needs the brim. And these are all like, there's a lot of wrinkles and shadows here. So I like to just do those in the crayon texture pattern and then fill them in. Oh. Just a little gnome guy. I'm gonna go back to his beard and define that line a little more. He's just a nice little gnome, you know? Okay. Okay. I think his coat should be a little bit more of an olivey green. And I'm gonna do that by probably just going around these sections of the coat. They're on different layers, but that's fine. I'll just change them one at a time. I can just adjust the saturation a little bit. Or not the saturation, the hue a little bit. I just wanted to go towards olive green. See, negative 26, 7, negative 13. I can do roughly that. Negative 7, 13. So close enough to the same color. He is next to all of the little guys, so let's see how it matches in color. We could probably use maybe a little bit of an adjustment to his hat. I think his hat's gonna match pretty exactly. One of the things that you can do, it's gonna be harder because his hat's on a different layer, but that's fine, is color over this. Let's see, did that change anything? It did a little. I just used the color function to adjust it. And now it should match his hat pretty well. I'm just gonna add, because I'm just working on the gnome right now, but I want to add to this whole layer just a touch more of like shadow, because I go pretty light on the shadow when I'm drawing by myself, but in order to make it blend in a little bit better, I need to go a little bit harder. I like the idea of using just like colors from the image. It's not quite like shadows, but just like slight effects. Probably go with yellow there. And then he just needs a touch of shadow beneath where he is. Yes, he is a gnome. And he's gonna have a little home. Oh, Oh, I do want to adjust where his home is now. I think I actually want to flip what I drew before. Let me draw it out again, because I think I do like the idea of the house, of the door being on this side. And just being like a classic little hobbit door. It doesn't make any sense for the handle to be in the middle. I'm sorry, but it doesn't make any sense for the handle to be in the middle, because it just doesn't create the right kind of leverage on the door when you're opening the door, okay? We're gonna go and put his bench in. He's still gonna have his shovel and maybe a little pitchfork and a bucket, a little window here. And you know what? Instead of a potted plant, what if there's like a little bell that you like ring when you go up? Actually, I think that's a really cute idea, is that like when you come in, there's a little bell next to the door and you ring it. Okay. This is the kind of world building we need for this gnome. Also, let me real fast. Just gonna snip him. Live editing of the thumbnail. I repeat, we have live editing of the thumbnail. I mean, at least I think we can change the thumbnail. Can I not? Let me see. I can change the thumbnail live. See, I learn a new thing every day about YouTube. At least I think I can. It looks like it's working. It's just because I hadn't really drawn any more, or any other, like, you know, gnomes in their little homes. And then now I'm drawing gnomes in their homes. And I know what I want the aesthetic to be now. And it's not whatever it was before. Which was just drawn very haphazardly. Okay, so I'm gonna do a new layer. We're gonna fill in all of these little backdrop ideas with maybe another color that I get out of this picture. Here's a little tiny stick. That stick is light brown. I'm gonna use that light brown stick as the color for everything for now. Probably should have used a symmetrical tool. Fine, I'll use the stupid perspective symmetrical. Nope. Okay. Just to make the, you know, window look perfectly even. Although I guess I could have given that rustic handmade feel. It's fine. And you bet that I'm gonna do that for the door as well, because This is a big circle and I only want to draw half of it. Hinge. Yeah, for future live streams I do want to like do sculpts and stuff like that. Oh, let me make the ruler go away. I am working on a sculpt. I don't know when it'll be finished. My goal was to have it finished by this weekend, but I'm not going to be at home tomorrow, so we're just going to have to see how it goes. This is supposed to be a little bench that he has next to his door. There doesn't have to be a Y to the bench. There just is a little bench next to his door. Someone could write a book about all the gnomes that live at the Chicago Botanic Gardens. If garden gnomes were real, I feel like they would have a lot of them because they're pretty big. I guess this is my story then about the gnomes that live at the Chicago Botanic Gardens, seeing as I'm drawing a picture of a gnome over a picture that was taken there. So, the gnome that lives at the Chicago Botanic Garden, is he the only gnome that lives there, or is he one of many gnomes? I think he's probably one of many gnomes, but there's also a lot of ground to cover. Maybe he just takes care of the English walled garden, which is, I think, where I took this picture. I have many more pictures of just like moss at this garden, to be honest, because that's what I would always be taking, is I would be like, you know what looks nice is the moss. Moss is cool. Yeah, I've gotten more views recently on my Pumpkin Girl video, but I do feel a little awkward about doing a live stream that's not a sculpt after like my best video is sculpting. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of sculpting, so I didn't really want to do it for this live stream. But yeah. I don't know, YouTube audiences are finicky and people follow you just for one video, and like I don't know if those people will like any of the other art that I do, especially stuff like this, which is just like, here are some gnomes. The reason why I was thinking about gnomes is, I think what I said earlier was I was thinking about like if there was a video game about gnomes, that would be super cute. I mean that was the origin of the idea, although the idea was that you'd be a gnome in like a garden and your goal in life would be to like make the people in the house happy, so you'd like decorate your little garden, and the people would sometimes like give you things, and like it's supposed to be like semi-magical, like they don't necessarily know that you're a gnome in the garden, like they don't, logically I feel like they shouldn't understand, but there's some, you know, something about the like magic there or whatever, like the magic you have as a gnome allows them to just over, like they don't realize. I don't know. They don't know. It's magic. Magic is magic. What should I make these cushions? Maybe just a nice dark orange. I mean, they're supposed to be cushions. But like you could make little stuff in the game idea and decorate the garden, and like the people might like request things, like specific things that they like. Gosh, I really want to play Planet Zoo right now. I would say I should play Planet Zoo after this, but I think my partner's gonna be home by the time I'm done with this live stream. So I don't think I can do Planet Zoo right immediately after. I'm trying to make all these colors behind the gnome fairly dark because obviously they're technically in shadows. They should be completely in the shadows because everything here kind of is. I mean, if anything's not in the shadows, it's like a part of the shovel maybe. Maybe I can put the bell more in the light. This little bell guy right there. Do another layer for the door. Which I'll have to definitely make darker than that. This is just for some color variation, I guess. Like tone variation. I like the picture because it's like a big contrast between this dark little cave and like the light outside. So like I don't want to ruin that too much by adding this like all of this stuff behind it. Okay, and now I'm just darkening the door again. I don't know what I'm doing with this door. I think what it needs is a wood texture. I think what we need is like maybe like a lot of squares and the multiply tool. Okay, I'm gonna start on the bell and the hinge, and we'll see if we can clear up those the rest of the door. If the door will look okay after we work on those other parts. Got the hinge, got the bell, which I feel like has to be in maybe like partial light. Should probably have a different color for the rope. I'm taking a really long time on this first drawing, and I feel like I should probably hurry it up. Just for the sake of like getting more than one thing done today. You know what I should have done is do the door handle out of the same color as the hinge and the bell, and use all the same colors for it. Keyhole, but of course he's a gnome, so he probably never locks his door. Anyway. You know what we need to do? Have a wooden border around the thingy, the door. What's it called? The wooden border that's around the door? God. Just, you know, that thingy that goes around the door and the wall that the door is set into. I've forgotten its name. He's just a little gnome. Yeah, Boo? Meow. 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 You would like to meow? Boo, he would like to meow. He's sitting on my lap now, like a good little man. He will leave soon. He's sitting down as if he's going to stay. Gasp. YouTube, you've got to see this. Boo's sitting on my lap as if he's a little friend. Boo, look. You're on my... Look, Boo, you're on TV. He doesn't like to sit on laps mostly, but sometimes he tolerates it. Boo, look, you're on the YouTubes. Yeah, you're on the YouTubes. You're making the camera just be like all messed up. Yeah, sorry, it's not actually that bright in here, but the camera is trying to compensate for Boo being so dark. Oh no! No, don't leave! Don't leave! You're my little friend. I'll stop petting you. Stay. Don't go. Oh no. He's on the craft table. He is on alert. He is on the craft table. Alert. Alert. He's on the craft table. Boo. Boo, come back. Boo. There's nowhere for you to sit there. Except on all of my stuff. Yeah, there's nowhere for you to sit except on all my stuff. Are you gonna sit on all my stuff? He might sit on all my stuff. Okay, Boo camera is off now because he's decided to sit on my stuff. And my work in product craft. Oh. He's coming back. No! He's decided to jump down. That big thud was him. Okay, what I really need to do now that I've made this drawing of a gnome with a little house is pick out a new picture. Pick out another picture. And make a gnome in that picture too. Preferably a different picture. I mean, like a different location. I'm going through my pictures real fast. Trying to find one. Oh, you know what? I bet this one would make a good base. This isn't the best picture I have. In fact, it's like not a good picture in general, so I might sort of redraw it. Oh, that picture's kind of nice though. I have a lot of pictures of mushrooms on my computer. Problem being a lot of them are from weird angles. That's a picture of a snake. That's a picture of a spider. It's a picture of a very large rabbit. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one, and I'm gonna have to figure out how to make the blurry parts of it look a little bit better, but I think I can like decorate the blurry parts to kind of cover up the ugly bits. So this is what's called an indigo milk cap mushroom. And you can see there's like blue stuff coming out of it. It's just a bit blurry of a picture at the top of the milk cap. But I think I can make it work. We'll just put something over it. And I think this will be like a really good base for like a little gnome house. Oh, you know, I wish I had more up here in the picture because it could be like the steps to his house. No, it's okay. So this part's definitely gonna need to be covered up. I guess, you know, we could just make the roof. Maybe it's like a reinforced mushroom. So like this house like is part of the mushroom, but it's also like the mushroom is holding it up. This is a very small gnome. Definitely one of the on the small side of a garden gnome, like a teeny tiny one, but that's okay. You know, these could be like crops, maybe? Like as if they're made out of the like indigo milk cap's milk. The problem is this leaf's in the way. Okay, let me think about this again. Maybe move the picture around a little. Maybe it should be on this side, you know? Okay, because like this as a door might be a little bit better. And you know, I could do like a welcome mat underneath this leaf, and the gnome could be like maybe sweeping the leaves away from the door. Like all the leaves have sort of drifted upon the house. And we can always just leave some of these leaves as if they're lying against the house without making them like, without just like covering them up. Okay, I kind of like that. We could still do the part. Is the roof gonna be built into the mushroom? I kind of want to leave as many of the plants as possible. But I still really want to cover up this little gross, ugly part of the mushroom. So maybe I'll make it like sort of scalloped, like the leaves are going over the roof. I can make the roof part of this tree. So maybe the roof is like going to be part of the tree, and then the house is going to be sort of built into the mushroom in blue. God, this is so much architecture. Like weird. I mean, that was kind of the goal. It's like interesting fantasy architecture, because I'm not super good at like that kind of stuff. Let me just doodle over with like big brush strokes what I'm thinking to try and better visualize it. So this house is like built into the hill. It can have windows that are sort of, I liked when they were like rectangular. Sort of rectangular windows. And then this roof matches the bark. But then that goes over it. Maybe needs a bit more blue. It's a very bright blue mushroom. Okay, I think I like where I'm going with this. I think I'm just gonna keep going with this style of painting. Like I'm just gonna keep drawing over this sort of, like on this layer. And see how much like detail I can sort of flesh out. Maybe a little like lamp, you know, classic little lamp type of thing. Trying to copy that tree in the background. for the roof. This is definitely like a different style than I was doing before, but you know, it's good to, I mean, that was the idea. Kind of exploring something new. Oh, I should definitely do a chimney sticking out somewhere on the roof. That's a little bit too bright. I'm using the harder pen. Okay, this is the gnome drawing live stream, and I haven't even drawn a gnome in this picture yet. That's okay. I'll do a gnome in a second. This is like pretty different from my usual style of drawing, and I have to say, it kind of hurts my hand. I'm not gonna lie. So, before I forget, I have to. There are certain sections where I want these leaves that are below to be sticking through. Okay, I'll cover a little bit more of this up. A little bit like right here. But otherwise I just want it to look like this leaf is like drifted on to the house in sort of pieces. And I will do the gnome, sweeping it up in a second. I was thinking about trying to find music for the live stream. It's pretty hard to find music that YouTube won't like copyright, and I'm not really sure what sources to go to. I figured I could keep the music off so people could play their own music. But I don't know. People can comment and like let me know what they think. Like whether music yes or music no. Music yes or music no. Bright blue door. Now for the gnome. I think I'm gonna redraw her over to which side? I guess this side maybe. I don't want to like block too much of the house. See, that's the problem. Now that I've drawn all the house, I don't want to block too much with the gnome. Although the gnome does have to be very small. holding my arm very weirdly while drawing. Not a good position that I was in. Of course, now I'm farther away from my microphone, but oh well. Can't all be perfect. Oh, I think this is sweet. Forgot to save these. I think that the first one is definitely a lot neater in a lot of ways. And the gnome is a little bit more detailed, but I like the house. I feel like the house is pretty creative in the second one and interesting. Let's see if I can find like one more picture to do a gnome house of. There are less images on my computer than I thought there were. So it's pretty sparse pickings, for sure. That's just a blurry picture of a spider. Maybe I could do a whole bunch of gnomes in this one. So this is mainly flowers. But maybe, perhaps, Let me think. Brainstorming. I'm thinking like something over here would make sense as the door. This is actually like a column at the Chicago Botanic Garden. So like, what if there was like a little door over here and it was like a little house hidden in the leaves? And we'll make the house the same color as this column, but just cover up like the column area. And it'll just be going down into the leaves. And maybe he's just smelling the leaves, just a casual sniff. Selecting all this stuff. This is where we're gonna put our little house. I might reduce the size of this a little later, but I want to do the details first. So we have a door. Nothing special per se. He's just a tiny little guy. He's just a tiny little guy hanging out among some flowers, you know? Well, that's all for today. I made some nice little pictures of gnomes and their little houses. This guy's a little elegant purple gnome who takes very good care of the big flowers right outside his door. This one's a forest gnome who's very upset because of all of these big leaves that are wafting down in the fall. And also she lives in a mushroom. And this gnome is just perfect. And he loves visitors, and when you visit, just ring his little bell and he'll come right out if you can't fit inside his door. So, thanks for watching. See you next week when I'll do another live stream on Thursday at 2 p.m. Bye-bye.